Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way, you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about the Rippaverse once again. So, Eric July has been very, very successful with the Rippaverse ever since the Rippaverse comic book company published ISOM #1 all the way back in 2022. But given the fact that the comic book industry is full of some of the most jealous, envious, pathetic, worthless pieces of shit I have ever seen, we're at the point now where they will just like softly cancel you without even basically saying what the reason is or what you actually did. So Eric July has talked about that in 2025, we're going to be obviously, getting more books coming out. So obviously you're going to need more artists and writers and letterers and all that stuff to kind of speed up the production of the books actually. So he made a tweet yesterday talking about a comic book studio that kind of hires people to put them on projects. And he said there was a point where they canceled it because of some online controversies and they actually never said what they were. Now, a lot of you guys are going to tell me it's EVS. I'm being honest here. Probably is EVS because he's a fat, worthless piece of shit. But then again, keep on, guys. EVS is not the only detractor Eric has right now. Like, he came in much later, for being honest here. There's previous detractors before that. It could literally be anybody. It could be Dick Masterson. It could be that actual fandom loser. It could be that organized chaos loser.
It's very likely all of them at the same time, dude.
Could be. It could be a coordinated cult, let's call it a coup. They were trying to do that in Naruto where the Uchihas are trying to like take over the village. It could be that. It could be a whole giant coup with them in a Discord or a stream.
I think it's just a coordinated effort by multiple people, people that EVS knows to create tortious interference in Eric's business.
Yeah. I mean, at one point, remember EVS and Shane Davis were on a Trash Cast episode, the fucking worst podcast on YouTube, where he was talking about, yeah, we already contacted people that could have worked with Eric July, and we kind of why? Even if people were trying to say you did it, why would you ever say that? Oh, fucking good Lord. You're just basically admitted to people that, hey, I'm trying to have people not work with this guy. What the hell? I guess being fat and worthless and not putting out a book in 4 years would definitely make you jealous and envious of a black man doing better.
5 years.
You're right, huh? Ramble the Brutes kicking on 5 years. Holy fucking shit. So
you're never getting all those books, that's for sure. There were 3 books that was a part of as well. Like, and forget you Cyberfrog 3 purchasers. He doesn't even talk about the fact that the 3rd chapter of his story isn't coming out. It'll have been a decade since the first book hit or longer, and you haven't got even a remotely complete story.
Eric July reveals comic studio cancels 15 Rippaverse projects because they became conscious of some controversies. Interesting. 1 sec. Also, this is JDA's Fandom Pulse. I know people don't like that guy, but, I had no other place to go for this article because no one else did it. So keep in mind. Also, what's really weird here is there's no writer. It just says written by Fandom Pulse. Guys, that's not a person. Fandom Pulse is the website name. I'm pretty sure potentially Student of God wrote this because he's the one that linked it, but it doesn't matter either way. I'm just saying, and I like Student of God. As a major problem for non-leftists trying to gain a foothold in entertainment, especially the comic book industry, is the pressure faced by talent who will refuse to work for anyone the establishment deems a threat. Eric July found this firsthand with his Rippaverse, as a studio has quit because of controversy associated with him. Eric July built a giant audience off of his pop culture commentary and music background, teaming up with The Blaze. He propelled his brand to new heights before ever starting the Rippaverse with his hit comic book, I Saw Number One, a comic that made millions and began an empire. He didn't rest on his laurels, pretty sure it means morals, but built an entire universe with AlphaCore, Yaira, Gooding, and more, as the company is on track to sell even more books in 2025 than it has in any year prior. Also, they have now come out with their own collected edition first book, the Rippaverse Trinity. You know, hopefully those will still be around so I could get one. But keep in mind, guys, even before EVS, there was fucking hell, actual fandoms thing. You had the lawsuit that Dick Masterson and Vito basically insinuated. And keep in mind, I want to clear this up here. There was never an actual lawsuit. It was basically kind of like, what's a thing in law where it never goes to trial? They kind of essentially like settled out of court with it ever.
Yeah, it was settlement.
Yeah, there was never a lawsuit. Okay, ever. Okay, I don't know why people keep saying that word. Nothing ever happened in court. Are you literally retarded? Oh my goodness.
Of course they are. They listen to Dick Masterson podcast
or that fucking retarded bitch Katie did.
EVS podcast. Yeah, all those people. The only people that listen to those people's podcasts, other than to clip them saying something about how they like grooming or molesting dogs, like Katie did. I don't know. If you're not there to clip them, you must be mentally retarded if you're watching them.
Yeah, Katie, if you can't clip Eric's content, you could sure have a dog fuck you. I'm pretty sure you're into that, you stupid, worthless bitch. All right. He hired industry legends Chuck Dixon and Joe Bennett, whom I think have done the best books in the Rippaverse so far, as you guys have watched my Rippaverse comic book ranking video on my comic channel, to work with him, as well as former Marvel artist Bart Sears, teaming up with the Saska sisters, I love those two, Jen and Sylvie, who also penned a Black Widow miniseries for the Big Two comic company. You know what's crazy? The new recent controversy, hiring Gothics, and they were all like, well, she doesn't know comics. Guys, she's not hired for her comic book knowledge. She is hired essentially to be a content creator, essentially a spokesperson. You know what's crazy? All that shit you guys said about Gothics, you can apply that to literally Katie did. Isn't that her? Katie did has no knowledge of comics, and all she does is just talk out her ass. And all she does is get on her knees and lick the ball sweat off of EVS's nutsack. She has EVS's dick so far down her throat, it's in her esophagus. Like the way Taylor Swift gets on her knees for that Kelsey fucker. Like, literally, Katie did is what you guys claim Gothics is. Gothics isn't here for comic book knowledge. Also, why would any girl be here for comic book knowledge? Girls don't know shit about comics. What the fuck? With such talent involved, and a line that has endless work involved, one would think any studio would be honored to work with the Rippaverse. But the thing is, that's not how any of the major two would see it. They see you as competition. And let's be honest here, they have such a foothold in the industry on people's necks. The fact that basically if they ever catch you working for Eric July's company, you'll be blacklisted. They probably won't tell you. You just won't be getting any calls or emails, actually. It's practically guaranteed income for a long time if they do a good job, which is true. That's the next book coming out, which is The Great War of Separation, which I'll be obviously pre-ordering very soon when it drops later on this week. However, success doesn't come without detraction. I see what they did there. And July faces a ridiculous online mob who attack his every move and dedicate their lives to hating his comic books. Yet literally, he could announce, hey, I'm doing an omnibus. Why are you doing an omnibus? It's too early. Marvel and DC release omnibuses literally every week. I have the proof. How dare you do an omnibus? You just proved you're a fake comic book fan. You just proved it right there. Everything they say, as far as a detractor, I can tell you're a fake fucking comic book fan. You don't read books. Probably don't even own books because you probably live in your mom's fucking basement eating her asshole out while she pays your fucking cell phone bill, you fucking losers. It's borderline mentally ill and led by several jealous former DC Comics artists whom are in my butthole. I'm joking. Who seem to want him to fail for their own feelings. Yeah. It's led to some problems recently, as Eric July posted on X yesterday. So this was the post that he made. For the sake of respect and professionalism, I will not name the agency involved. And this is where I disagree. You should name them. It won't matter at this point now, dude. They're not going to work with you.
Yeah.
Why not name them? It doesn't matter. If you do name them, they're not going to work with you anyway. You might as well put them on blast. I don't see the reason why he wouldn't. But the respect factor, I guess. I can understand it, but I don't agree with it. You know? As many of you know, the Rippaverse has a mountain of projects coming down the pipeline for 2025 and beyond. This creates a lot of opportunity for artists. We recently started communication with a decently known Western comic book agency that manages a lot of solid talent. Some of this talent is very well known. At first, they were enthusiastic about this opportunity. This especially applied to those looking for work at the moment. We eventually assigned about a dozen artists on 15 plus projects. This includes pencilers, inkers, and colorists for both covers and sequential art. Some of these projects had already kicked off. Today, I received an email from the agency head that they are pulling all of their artists from their various projects. Why? Because, and I quote, they become conscious of some controversies. I didn't ask what those controversies were, and it is unimportant. No, Eric, I disagree with that. You should ask them. You should. See, are they going to be honest? I don't know, but I think you should have asked them.
I think it does become important because right here you can see that if he's already had people assigned out, there was already some kind of an agreement here. There was already some kind of contract that must have been signed. So there's absolutely going to be some sort of settlement from breach of contract. If they breached a contract with Eric, he's within his rights to file suit against that company. If he files suit against that company, one, the name of the company will come out, but two, there will be discovery on the controversies on who did it. I just don't think Eric wants to discuss it
You know what's crazy,
on the internet.
I think people are still peddling the stupid line. They're like, cancel culture is dead because Donald Trump became president. I voted for Trump. I don't care what people say. He was the best candidate. Better than that Kamala Harris retarded bitch. Why would Trump becoming president just eliminate cancel culture? You know, people could just secretly do that, like what happened to Eric potentially.
Yeah, it's not, dude. That's the thing I keep telling people. It's like
just because Trump became president doesn't mean that everything's gonna just magically go away.
You won a battle. You didn't win this culture war. It's not over yet, dude.
Like, and people want to factor in you with Eric July and this company. They were probably talking for a while. This didn't just come out of nowhere. You know, this had to be set up months in advance.
Well, they've already got people assigned out. You've got actual artists assigned to actual books, and then they pull them from it. That means they're in violation of some kind of agreement, dude. You don't get that far along in a project that you're disseminating work out unless you've already come to an agreement on what those people are going to be paid for that assignment, which means there's a contract of some sort in place, which means that getting out of that contract is going to require some sort of binding settlement between Eric and the company. And maybe it was written into the terms of the contract that, like, hey, here's an out clause, and this is how it works. Like, if we decide to pull out or we can't do it or whatever. But if they didn't have that in there and they just kind of nuked the contract, he can sue the shit out of them. So it's going to delay. It's going to have a material effect on his business.
Yeah.
And if he sues them in discovery, he'll find out who did it.
First person he should sue is
reach out to them, because they're not going to. Well, that company isn't going to be in violation of. I mean, that's a real company. This isn't some fly by night bullshit fucking indie go fucking artist. It's a real company that, like, when the lawyers come knocking at their door, they're going to have to turn over this shit to explain who this was and what these controversies were. And I'm pretty sure that even that Eric knows what the controversies were, and he is not willing to engage with this retardation, even at the level.
Because this is the thing that Eric
tortious interference.
I hope Eric understands this. I'm pretty sure he does. The guys from, like, the mainstream, let's say Marvel and DC or this agency, they don't like you anyway. So if someone doesn't want to work with you, nothing changes that. They already made up their mind already. You know?
Yeah.
This is gonna.
No, I think he's pretty clear about that. But either way, this is going to cause some damage to his business as an ability to do business, and he should be seeking financial retribution for it. And that's the thing. I there's nothing in here that says that he doesn't wind up doing that. Like, I think at some point he does, or he should go after them. I just don't think he needs to talk about it online.
Yeah. There's no sense in trying to work with people that don't want to work with you. Oh, I understand that one. Though this delays several projects, I wish them well and will not do anything to spite them. I bring this up as a reminder to you all. We've seen a lot of success, but we are still up against it. Though the Rippaverse leaves its politics at the door, the individual politics of people like me, Chuck Dixon, and others will always be held against us. Yeah, that's true. We all know what the acceptable politics are in the Western comic book industry. Yeah, anyone saying that that's not true is retarded. You definitely have to have a certain line of thinking to kind of work with some of these people. It's true. Literally, yep. Okay, so as an example, I was watching a Hypnotic stream just a few days ago. There's this Muslim guy who was hired to do legitimate DEI. They didn't know it was politics. What they were trying to convince him of was basically being like, you should hate the fact that you're white. You have white skin. And you should kind of treat people better than you because you're white. This is literally, he laid it out. I don't agree with everything he said in that video, that Muslim guy that was e-fapping. But what he put out was like, okay, these guys are crazy. They're putting you through actual like DEI training to trying to reprogram your brain, you know? Like, you better not come out and say there's only 2 genders. How dare you? You're blacklisted. I guarantee you, if Dan Mora, and I love Dan Mora, Dan Mora comes out right now and says there's only 2 genders, he's blacklisted. Guarantee you it will happen. They have no standards. They just want you to accept bullshit. Ugh. That said, some of it isn't just left versus right. We always have people contacting our business, to our vendors, partners, and anybody that dares to say anything positive about us. Some of these will even claim they're anti-cancel culture. Yeah, this happened. You know, when Eric accepted that award last year when we went to that meetup? Remember, it was literally 2 days before we went to the meetup. Remember? EVS and his crew of trolls and worthless pieces of shit, they contacted the organization that gave Eric July the award. Remember that? And they stormed their comment section saying he didn't deserve it. Yeah, like anyone that speaks positively about the Rippaverse just gets, no, you don't really like it. How dare you? They just dogpile you.
Are such sad, pathetic, I'm assuming lonely individuals. I mean, they are the dregs of humanity. They are the left behinds. They are people who have nothing more in life to look forward to than thinking about Eric July. I barely fucking think about Eric July, and I've read all of his books so far.
Well, because you're not a flaming homosexual.
Well, yeah, they're obsessed with them. It's just like some sort of homoerotic power fantasy that most of these guys seem to have.
Because what was the original thing? The original thing was, it's not gonna. You'll never put out your first book. It's never gonna succeed very well. No one's gonna like it. You won't make money. And then when every narrative got defeated, they had to just resort to contacting people to make sure they don't work. That's just, God, these people are just mentally deranged. Do you have nothing better to do with your life? Keep in mind, people claim they're anti-cancel culture, and people claim they love comic books. Guys, there's DC and Marvel will have a bigger impact on comic books than Eric will ever have. That's me being honest. I would focus all the energy you have on Eric and focus on Marvel and DC and what they're doing with people. Keep in mind, what we're just hearing stories, these guys barely ever got paid. They got paid late. What about that? That's always been a thing. You know? And hey, yeah, let me just focus on this guy doing an indie comic book company that'll have no impact on nothing. Holy crap, people are fucking retarded. They're either already fans of the Rippaverse or they're professionals that know of and support our vision. They are mentally prepared to handle whatever will be unfortunately thrown out them simply because they work with for us. Certainly simply because they work with / for us. Everybody else are Easterners and South Americans that are completely disconnected from a lot of the nonsense and cultural problems that plague Western entertainment. Despite all of this, I look forward to giving some hungry artists these projects. The Rippaverse will continue to grow despite the challenges or hurdles. Let's be great. It's tragic to watch cancel culture in action even in 2025 at a point where even Bleeding Cool is recognizing Eric July's prowess in the industry. The books for the Rippaverse can't be considered to be offensive by any political standards, as he's merely presented a fun superhero universe, making the situation more ridiculous. Eric July, however, noted that there are a large number of artists who responded because of the situation, leading him to comb through different portfolios almost immediately to fill the vacancies presented by the studio. He said in a follow-up, though I didn't plan this, I'm spending the front half of the day going through this mountain of artists that saw the most recent post, reached out, and they are ready for work. Shout out to all of you. And this is one of the more awesome things, the success we've been blessed with. It creates a lot of good paying gigs for artists in an industry that many feel needs to be rekindled. we move. Also, there's a guy that does crowdfunders. His name is Gilly Writes or something like that. He wants to always write for the Rippaverse. I would always contact. He said his dream was to write for the Rippaverse. He said he wants to do an Ingrid solo story. Get that guy, Eric, if you can. Shout out to that Gilly Writes guy. It's good to see the Rippaverse continuing on despite setbacks and canceled attempts. Eric July provides a good example to go forward and get the work done and not bow to pressure. It pays off to stand by a vision. What do you think of a comic studio canceling Eric July and his Rippaverse? Well, yeah, man. What's your closing thoughts on this?
These detractors, actual fandom, and whoever that weird dude with the beard that they both are.
Oh, Eric debunks that guy.
I don't know. Yeah,
whatever he
spells the name. He spells it Eric weird or whatever. Either way, they look like child predators.
Okay,
I mean, I'm not saying I know that for a fact, but they look a little.
Okay,
They sound that way too, bro. And some of their ideals they seem to stick to. Give me.
Oh, actual fandom for sure.
It's a vibe. It's just
he thinks there's non-offending PDFs. He's actually said these kind of things.
Oh yeah, so then he is he's a predator.
Even allegedly, he hides these strings to be members only, but no one's paying members for that dog shit content. But yeah, I mean, people are just so obsessed with.
You've got people like that. You've got the Vito and the Dick Mastersons of the world, and all they're known for is Vito for making a comic book no one will ever read, even if he does publish it.
And it will never come out.
Yeah. And you've got Dick Masterson, who abuses a girl with autism along with his mentally challenged cohort, Riley, who pisses on the supposedly autistic girl that Dick, pays for them to create this content. I'm assuming solely for him. Nobody on OnlyFans is buying that literal piss porn.
She's not attractive, and she's literally
it's just Dick spanking it to it on the times that he doesn't have time to actually abuse her himself, or Riley. I'm sure he's taking a round of Riley's thick ass as well. But these are the people that follow people like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like you've already got these base degenerate scumbags that are the content creators. So you have to imagine that the people that are actually following them are even more base, even more degenerate, even more invaluable to society in general. And these are the people that you're dealing with whenever you mention Eric July. Eric July lives in their minds rent-free, and all they can do is think about him
all day. Some of these people complain to be anti-cancel culture, and they actually are comic book fans. That's the crazy thing. It's first of all, you should want another comic book company coming up and thriving. That's a good thing.
Are they really though? Are they really comic fans? Are they Wikipedia fans? I haven't found one of them that seems legitimately authentic in the fact that they're some kind of comic book fan. I mean, unless your idea of being an authentic comic book fan is to give Ethan Van Sciver as much money as you can and never see anything from him. Yeah, exactly. It's bullshit. Most of them are bullshit. Like Dick Masterson's fans, who are what New CG thrives on, are not comic book fans. They're just scumbags. And so are pretty much everyone associated with Ethan's New CG. They're just shitty scumbags who are literally obsessed with Eric July's success because they will never be successful in modern times. They Ethan won't be successful again. He will never reach the heights he had at DC. Again, he's a has-been. And all of these people who follow him are just never was degenerate scumbags that Dick Masterson sends over to EVS, so EVS will support his retarded fucking tirade against Eric.
Ethan has said, "Oh, me and Eric July weren't friends." That's not true. Even if you weren't friends, you could explain this friendly. He literally ended up becoming the biggest detractor because he just had a disagreement. Night letter, shut the fuck up.
It's not even a disagreement, dude. It's jealousy. Ever since Ethan went into the hospital after his coronary from obsessive compulsive pie consumption, he
You're
hasn't
saying
done
he got a
anything.
stroke for being a fat fuck?
I'm saying right now, I don't think his hand is even steady enough to draw anymore. He's probably using more AI to produce those Rainbow the Brute photos than anyone's ever done. Like maybe he does it. Maybe he has sparks of time where he can keep a steady hand enough to draw on a stream, maybe, or something else. But I don't think he can physically draw at length anymore. And that's why Rainbow the Brute is really taking so long, is because he is physically incapable of doing it. Just like he was physically incapable of keeping his wife pleased, and she left him for a skydiver. Sup, Evan? How you doing?
Oh gosh. Because now we're at the point where, man, this guy is literally streaming about Eric for hours. He literally became the detractor that he was battling against with Eric when the Rippaverse launched. He endorsed. I saw him. He said it was good. It was literally ever since the Dick Masterson criticism, and he was mad because Eric didn't get on his knees and take Dick Masterson.
Dick Masterson isn't a real critic.
He doesn't know comics.
I don't even think he knows how to read a fucking book. Like, his hairline makes him look like a fucking caveman.
Here, I'll show you what he's doing right now on this video. This fat, worthless idiot. This man already. I seen it. I'm not subscribed anymore because this guy is. I'm just so done seeing this fat fucking idiot from my fucking feed. I'd already unsubscribed a long time ago. This is what he's doing right now. This is what he's doing right now. He's already did this before. It's Eric July related, but he's doing this right now. Okay. He has already EFAP'd this before. He's watching the same shit over and over again. He's watched that Rippaverse already.
Yeah, he's mentally masturbating over Eric, and then because he doesn't have a steady hand anymore, he puts it on his dick right after Trash Cast ends, and he jacks off to Eric July. That's what Ethan Van Sciver does when he's not on stream, because everything about Ethan Van Sciver is tied directly to Eric July anymore. Ethan Van Sciver isn't his own man. Nothing. He's Eric July's bitch.
Or even that Commentate Kings thing he did. I have Commentate King. Commentate King is boring. No one likes that show. That show was trash. Like, let's be honest.
Does anybody even come on it anymore?
He was only ever
on to be associated with him.
He was only ever interesting at doing drama. Let's be honest here. That's only his only thing. Commentate King sucks. I don't know why anyone wants to be on that show. That show was trash. None of those guys have. I like some of the guys. I do. None of them have personalities for doing like what we're doing right here. They don't. They literally do not. He had to literally change the entire format of the show because he knew they have no personalities, or they didn't want to put their personalities out there on his show because they knew they would probably trash their reputation more than already is trash for not being in the main.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think anybody wants to go on there and like actually talk about shit.
I don't think they actually want to participate because
a lot of them want to leave. There's more than a few of them that like don't want to be associated anymore, and they don't want to deal with the fluctuation of the audience. Like, I think there's one or two of them that are probably slowly just disassociating by not being available for those streams.
Remember that guy named Bosch that I showed you on there? That guy Bosch came out of nowhere, claimed he made some Muhammad book that made him famous, that got him on the wrong side of the law, came in a post, started sucking off EVS, and then he's on his show now. That's all you have to do. Make a declaration that you need to suck this guy off, get on your knees and take his dick all the way to your esophagus, and you get on a show.
Bro, his dick isn't going that far. Ask Evan. He knows.
Ask his wife. Shit.
Evan knows. His wife told Evan.
Like, this guy is just crazy. Imagine having your brand. Yeah, just imagine being the guy he was before, working with Jeff Johns. I don't think Jeff Johns ever liked him. He's like, yo, remember that tweet he put out last year where he was like, man, I was at one point working with Grant Morrison and people like Jeff Johns, but now I'm in this space talking to people like JDA and Matt Barr. He doesn't want to be here. He would like to be in the mainstream with Jeff Johns and Grant Morrison. Yeah, but they never liked him anyway. Yeah,
well, he's they didn't lazy. Like him for one, and he's a pain in the ass. He couldn't work. He wasn't on. Jeff Johns probably had to live in his asshole just to make sure he was on time. Ethan doesn't have a work ethic. His only ethic that he has is being obsessed with another man's success. That's it. His ethic is, I'm Eric July's bitch. Everything Eric July does, I'm going to talk about because I'm his bitch. That's bitch-made shit. That's what
Yeah.
bitch-made men do.
He doesn't get his books
anything
out.
else but
Remember that guy,
being
Niobe
obsessed.
Comics? Niobe Comics went on his show and was like, hey, man, where's the fucking he was talking about Cyberfrog orders. He should have mentioned Rim of the Brute. Where's Rim of the Brute? It's been 4 years late. Cyberfrog 3 years late. Fear Psalm launched. No fucking end date to that. So let me see. If Cyberfrog 3, sorry, Rim of the Brute, Cyberfrog number 3, Fear Psalm, Elephant, that oversized hardcover shit, that's 5 projects right there. We don't even know when they're coming out or if they ever will come out, to be honest here. You know? No one's reading. See, keep in mind, he said, well, everyone got Cyberfrog 2 and everyone liked it. That's not true at all. That's
not everyone got it.
Not true. Not everyone got it. And people that read it, people that got it didn't read it. Who read them books? Who talks about Cyberfrog?
I don't even, like, there may be some places, like, if you Google it, you might see a few reviews, but nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Nobody talks about Ethan's books. Nobody cares. Short of his sycophants.
He had a tweet where he literally said he preferred if his life would, if he had still be in DC. Keep in mind, he could still be there. He got his own self canceled. If you wanted to be there, get on your knees, start sucking off Jim Lee or Dan DiDio, who was the lead guy before. Holy shit! What a fat, worthless idiot. I wouldn't be that surprised if he was the one behind that. I'm just being honest here. So, you know.
Oh no.
But the reason why I will give him a little bit of credit is because there's so many Eric July detractors. You honestly don't know who could have did it. Honestly, there's so many groups that stream for hours talking about the guy.
It's a collaborative.
You know? I would probably put him as number 1, but legit, you never know. But yeah, man. Any other closing thoughts you have about this topic or no?
Nah.
Don't stuff your face with
got all that out.
Yeah, but yeah. Eric July detractors, you're retarded, stupid, and yeah, your mom should honestly have thought about aborting you before you were born. So, thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King, and we're signing out, guys. See you guys later. Peace.